There's a mistake I keep seeing even in experienced gardens, and it quietly destroys root growth without obvious warning. People try to boost plants instantly by pouring fermented mixtures directly onto soil or roots, expecting explosive growth within days. What actually happens is a shock reaction in the root zone, microbial imbalance, temporary oxygen loss, and uneven nutrient release that stresses plants instead of strengthening them. The problem isn't fermentation itself. The problem is uncontrolled fermentation being applied without understanding what the root zone is actually capable of handling. Roots don't respond to intensity. They respond to consistency. And when that balance is broken, plants look fine above the soil while their root systems quietly stall below. In my own gardens, raised beds, and even container systems, I stopped relying on guesswork and started tracking what the root zone was actually doing. I use a soil moisture meter for plants, a 4-in-1 TDR tester that measures moisture, temperature, and light levels across different soil zones. I'll leave the exact one I use in the description if you want to check it out. https://amazon.to/4of. What this tool revealed changed how I apply every organic input. Because what looks moist enough on the surface is often completely different just 10 centimeters down. And that difference determines whether roots grow aggressively or stall completely. Once you start reading the soil instead of guessing, you realize something most gardeners miss: root explosion is not triggered by nutrients alone, it is triggered by stable biological conditions. Why fermented inputs often fail in real gardens: fermentation is powerful, but it is also aggressive. When you introduce fermented plant feeds, rice washes, or sugar-based brews directly into soil, you are not just feeding microbes, you are reshaping the microbial population rapidly. That sudden shift can temporarily reduce oxygen availability in the root zone, especially in compact or already moist soil. In one of my raised beds, I tested a fermented plant feed made from banana peels and molasses. At first, the plant showed a quick green response above the soil. But within a week, moisture readings in the root zone dropped unevenly in some areas while others became overly saturated due to microbial activity. Root growth slowed noticeably in those zones, even though leaf color looked improved. That's the trap. Above-ground response is not the same as root development. The fermented garden secret that actually works. The real secret is not applying fermentation directly to roots, it is preconditioning the soil ecosystem so it can process fermentation safely. When I use fermented inputs now, I never apply them straight. I dilute them heavily, usually around 120 to 130 depending on plant type, and I always apply them into soil that already has stable moisture levels between roughly 25% and 40%. Anything outside that range becomes unpredictable, and unpredictability is what slows root expansion. What I've learned is simple: fermentation works best as a microbial signal, not a nutrient bomb. It tells the soil system to accelerate activity, but only if the system is already balanced enough to handle that acceleration. When done correctly, something interesting happens. Instead of shallow, fast leaf growth, you start seeing deeper root penetration. Plants stop depending on surface feeding and begin building structure underground. That's when real growth begins. Why roots respond to stability more than intensity? Roots are not greedy. They are conservative systems designed to expand only when conditions feel safe. That safety is defined by three things: consistent moisture, oxygen availability, and stable temperature. If any one of those fluctuates too aggressively, root tips slow down or redirect energy toward survival instead of expansion. This is why I rely so heavily on zone readings from the soil moisture meter. In one garden bed, I noticed moisture fluctuating between 18% and 45% within the same week due to uneven watering. Plants in that bed never developed strong root systems, no matter how much fertilizer I used. Once I adjusted irrigation to stabilize that zone around 30 to 35%, root density increased within weeks without changing anything else. That's the part most people miss. You don't fix root growth by adding more inputs. You fix it by stabilizing the environment those inputs act in. How fermented feeds should actually be used: when I apply fermented plant feeds now, I treat them like timing tools, not feeding tools. I use them during active growth phases, never during stress periods like transplant shock or extreme heat swings. I also always pair them with stable moisture conditions. If the soil is too dry, fermentation compounds concentrate and stress roots. If it is too wet, they break down anaerobically and create localized rot zones. The correct approach is balance before stimulation. That sequence matters more than the recipe itself. Once you understand this, you stop chasing stronger mixtures and start focusing on smarter application timing. What real root explosion actually looks like. True root explosion is not visible at first. You don't see it in leaves immediately. You see it in resistance. Plants stop wilting quickly after watering. They start holding moisture longer. And when you gently check soil structure, you feel more fibrous binding through the root zone instead of loose, inactive soil. That's when you know the system is working. Not because of a single feeding, but because the soil ecosystem has reached a stable rhythm where roots feel safe to expand continuously. The correction most gardeners need. Most gardening advice focuses on inputs: what to add, what to spray, what to mix. But real soil performance is not input driven. It is condition driven. Fermentation, compost, fertilizers, they only perform as well as the environment allows. If you want stronger roots, stop looking for stronger mixtures and start building stronger stability in your soil system. That's the shift that separates average gardens from productive. Final thought on real root growth: the fastest root growth doesn't come from pushing plants harder. It comes from creating soil conditions where plants no longer feel the need to hesitate.